One, two, one, two. Michael Morgan standing alongside Michael Venom Page. Welcome to OTV, Michael.
How you doing, man? You good?
I'm really good. Michael, before we go any further, I have to know, are we cool? Yeah.
Are we cool?
Yeah.
Why?
I have been messaging you. I've gone through the appropriate channels. I've actually gone through PR for once in my life, but no response from Michael Venom Page. I just thought maybe there was beef. I was like, rah, hold on. This is the guy which I've cut documentaries with. This is the guy who I've actually done interviews with. I thought we were cool, but no response.
I got no beef. I got more people. I got more walls up around me. I'm Paradigm Sports there, man. They're looking after me. So that's your fault if you done something to them. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to say. We're good. We're good.
I'm good with Paradigm Sports. So if that's your, because I thought you were with Brand Vero. That's probably why the PR didn't get back to me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not going to comment on that. But if that's what you feel, that's what you feel.
Let's just get down to the meat and the potatoes. Look, you've got a big fight coming up with Rickles this coming Friday. Now, do you feel a sense of disrespect when people keep talking about the fact that you've not been tested and Rickles is your toughest test to date, and giving all of the usual trot, which basically alludes to the fact that Michael Venom Page is basically going through his first test ever?
I said that about Cyborg. It will always be the same. Mayweather, up until he's still undefeated, has people saying that he hasn't been tested or he hasn't fought the right people at the right time. There's always an excuse. Those type of fighters, sorry, those type of supporters, if you want to call them out, those type of fans, I don't appeal to. I don't care for their opinions or anything. I don't care how established they are. If that's your type of your attitude towards it, then I will never have anything good to say about you, and I will never listen to anything that you have to say. I'm on my own journey, and I always say that. I said this from the beginning. People forget that when I got into Bellator, it was very early in my career, because after 6 months of doing MMA, I had my first fight, and then my first fight went viral, and then I had a couple more fights, and then I was in Bellator. I am under the spotlight immediately. Now, if I was 12-0 and I've only just got into Bellator now, people would be like, oh yeah, this fight was fine, that fight makes sense, you're just in, but it changes all the time. So for me, I just got to do me, and if my team around me, the people that look after me, appreciate, and if they start saying, no, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, that's when I need to make action, make things move. But right now, I don't care.
As you alluded to, or as you already said, you're 12-0. Do you feel as though fight for fight you're actually learning anything new? Because a lot of people, a lot of fighters I've spoken to over the years, they say they learn more in a loss. Not wishing that on you, but I'm just saying in terms of learning, in terms of progressing, you're talking about a journey. Do you feel that that's missing?
You know what it is? It's funny because I think people say they learn more of a loss because they ignore their wins. So what they do is after they've crossed the finish line and got the win, they say, well, I don't need to pay attention to that anymore. Well, I'm different. Now, there could be 2 seconds in that fight that I messed up on, and which means I get to work. So regardless whether it's a win or a loss, I will learn the exact same amount. A loss just means that mistake they capitalized on. Whereas a win just means there was mistakes, but I managed to pull it back and get the win myself. So for me, I learn from just experiences, full stop. And that could be in the cage, in the gym. It doesn't necessarily just need to be in front of everybody's eyes, although everyone feels like they need to see that. And it's more for their own benefit. For me, I learn every single time I get in there.
Just before we go into your opponent, Rickles, you speak about learning in the gym. One of my, obviously you're one of my favorites in London Shoot, but one of my favorite guys down there, Galore Bafando, he's been quiet for a while. What's actually his situation? What's the status? When are you looking to bring him in? Surely you're going to be bringing him to Bellator.
I would love for him to come to Bellator, man. Having someone like Galore, I love working with Galore, man. He's a person that keeps my eyes like that. When we're sparring in the cage, it's like, everybody says it. It's like watching Street Fighter. It's like playing a game. Like stuff that you see me and him do, you just wouldn't. And he brings that out of me as well. I see him do something and it kind of entices me to do more. And we're both about just being on our feet. Like he's got some good throws, I've got some good throws, but it's like, you know what? Let's just keep it here where what we enjoy. hopefully he comes back soon. Hopefully he comes back soon. So he's had a bit of a layoff now. I just want him back, man. It's good for me as well. And having him on top of Shipman, on top of Norbert, on top of Amir being on Bellator, Shooter's taken over.
I mean, just on the actual, how can I put it, antics that I've seen when you and he actually faced off in the gym, it was incredible. I've always wanted to see a fight between you and Galore Fanda, and I, mate, my dream came true. It was absolutely a sight to behold. You were adventurous, like you said, when you were actually sparring with him. With an opponent like Rickles, can you afford to be that adventurous? Can you afford to be that free-flowing?
Well, what I find the most dangerous about him is how experienced he is. So yes and no. So when I say yes and no, I mean I can't really initially. When I feel like I'm taking control over in that fight, and sometimes it can take me 30 seconds of being in that cage, and I'm like, I got you, like I know. Or sometimes it's that first round, it's the second round. I'm like, okay, I'm still trying to figure certain things out, but it depends. So the second you see me starting to add flair, it means I have got you. That's what that means. Because initially I got to take my time. Some people saw it with Cyborg. I wasn't as flamboyant to begin with. I didn't feel like I was getting the bite from him, so I actually used that to try and entice him out. And then he started to relax a little bit more and so forth, and then I got the result. But there's a certain point in a fight where I know, and even my coaches, he'll see me do certain things, he's like, he's got this. He knows. And so initially, no. But that stands for everybody. Anybody that I take seriously, which is everybody that gets in the cage with me, I got to be cautious to begin with. But sometimes, 30 seconds in, I already know the answer. And this is why people are like, oh, it's immediate. But for me, it's definitely not.
Now, I have to say, the last time we spoke, you blessed us with one of the most accurate predictions I've ever heard of pre-fight. How you broke down the Cyborg fight and how that finish was going to actually come about was a thing of beauty, because exactly as you described it, it played out. How does you versus Rickles play out?
It's a lot more difficult for this fight in terms of actually, predicting something specific. The reason why Cyborg was a lot easier is because he has one or two attributes that we know 9 times out of 10 he's going to resort to, and we were waiting for that moment. So we knew from the beginning that opportunity is going to come out, and I'm going to take that opportunity. The difference with Rickles is he has a lot more to his game, so it's harder to figure out where it's going to finish. We have plans for every single aspect, but we don't know exactly which one's going to come out, because like I said, he's just come forward. He switches stance a lot. He's quite wild. Caveman is an accurate name for him. He's quite wild. So we've got a few, but it's hard to pin down exactly which one I'm going to go for. But we've got a few things in mind, and I think because he's such an aggressive fighter, he could walk into something that I haven't even planned to finish him, and it finished him just because of the timing and the impact. So it's a hard one to predict, but I just know I'll get the finish.
And just on that finish, that neatly segues into one of the burning issues right now. And just to refresh your memory, his name is Paul Semtex Daley. You may know him affectionately as Paula. Yeah, I thought that might just excite an aspect of your brain that kind of like connects that face with that name. But a lot has been said over the last 18 months. Just how are you today? I know you are like days away from Rickles, but just how are you today when you hear that he is getting quite excited about facing you?
No, it's understandable that he's getting excited about having a fight with me now. Very understandable. And this is why I don't care. And unfortunately, for everybody, people that want to see that, we're not having that fight. And it's one of those things that, if it does happen, I'll never not consider it. If it does happen, it'll be on my terms. I've said to multiple people already, I will never be anybody's scapegoat or get out of jail free card. And I feel that's what he tried to do. He knows, just from that hype, he knows that no matter what time in his career, he could retire and come back and people still want to see that. But it'll be under my terms, and it's going to be terms that he probably won't like, in all honesty.
Arguably, this is the Ben versus Eubanks of the noughties.
It was. It isn't. He's decided to take his career a different route, and I'm going this way. He's going round in circles down there, and I'm going to leave him there. And that's, I'm so not interested anymore. This is why, like, there was a genuine fire initially, which is amazing for everybody. It made it that much more exciting. I don't have that anymore. I don't care, and I can see what he's trying to do now, and I will not be taken advantage of. So I'm onwards and upwards, and until I see him up there, I have no interest.
Is there one thing that would ignite the fire? Because I have to say, this is a complete kind of 180 in terms of the Michael Venom Page I spoke to. He was very, very keen, as was I, to see this fight actually happen. Now, is there anything that would actually ignite the flame again? Because it seemed as though that's kind of like dimmed somewhat.
It's gone. It's not dimmed. He's gonna have to spark that up. But I'm telling you now, I'm just not interested. Like I said, I don't even have anger towards him anymore. I genuinely hate the guy. And at the time, I was genuinely pissed off because I felt disrespected. I don't anymore. It's just we're so far past it. And it's because of him that we're so far past it. This fight could have happened multiple times. And it's been rejected on the other side. And all of a sudden, there's interest, and I wonder why. I don't need to speak any more of it. I don't like even mentioning his name. This is why he'll always be Paula to me, and that is it. And I just, yeah, for me, it's about time for me to focus on me. I get, you guys are all interested, and I get why his name keeps coming up, and I don't feel any anger towards it, and don't talk to me about it. Like, I don't care, but it's just not happening.
But arguably, just before we move off this subject, arguably you would agree with me that this is one of the biggest fights that Bellator could actually make.
No, it was. I don't think it is anymore. Like I said, it was, and if I wanted to, if I put that extra bit of work, I can probably create it, and we can do something and make it big again. But right now, it's not.
You spoke about your terms. What would make him uncomfortable? What would your terms be that would make him uncomfortable?
What would make you uncomfortable is if I knock you out and you don't get paid for that fight.
So to bet his purse against your purse, are we talking about a purse type of scenario?
I mentioned this multiple times on multiple things, and again, like I'm trying to give you everything. I tried to put everything in to get this fight, didn't come back. Now you're only ever going to fight on my terms, and my terms are going to be horrible in your direction. So you're either going to take it just because you want that big fight, or I'm going to keep doing me, and I'll always be MVP, and you'll always be Paul Daley.
On that note, Michael Venom Page, I'm looking forward to seeing your return on Friday. It's going to be a thing of beauty. Thank you so much for sharing your time with WOTV.
That's right, man. Take it easy.